Hi, in this video we're going to create a CRM using Bubble. We're at least going to get started. I'm not sure how many videos are going to end up in this series to begin with, but we're going to start here with planning, lay the groundwork of kind of what we want to do. So when we think about a CRM, we need to think about the things that are in a CRM. The main purpose of a CRM is customer resource management, right? So we want to have accounts, we want to have people in those accounts, we want to be able to log activities into those accounts and to those people, and we want to be able to log sales and the products that we're selling, and then ideally generate invoices of some kind that we can track, right? So we want to be able to go in, sell stuff, know who we sold it to, and know what we did with them. And then I'm going to also build out the functionality to mark people as prospects. So you might have a team that's doing a lot of phone calls, and they have people they are calling and trying to convert into customers, people who are currently customers, and then we'll also have a group of non-customers, so we'll call them non-ICP, which are people who don't fit our company profile, so we know don't call them anymore. Great. So to get started, I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to create an option set. I'm going to call it account type. I'm going to do this first because I am going to use this when you're creating accounts to begin with. So account type, we're going to have a display of text with different options, and our options are going to be prospect, customer, there. And that's all we need to do there. What that does is it just gives me the ability to do this. Create a drop down, dynamic choices that are account type, all account types, and then the option will be an options display, default value will be prospect. Cool. So let me show you what that actually did for me right there. What that did for me there was made it so that inside this it starts with prospect and it defaults to it. So if I want to put this on anything like a form someone's filling out, it automatically is going to default to it. Great. So let's get started on making pages, right? So what kind of pages are we going to need for this? We are going to need a initial page that you're going to land on in a dashboard. We are going to need a page for looking up customers, whether that be a current customer or a prospect. We're going to do that with a repeating group, and we're going to have all that on one page. So let's make a list of pages here. I started with a list of things. I'm going to start with a list of pages now. So we're going to have the landing page, dashboards. Actually, we might put dashboards as the landing page. Dashboards. And then we will have the customers. Specs. We will need a view. We will need a view. Oop, push tab there. To be able to view customer and prospects, which will come off of the customer and prospects. So that'll be a third page there. We will also need a settings page where we will add also want to add log activities, and settings. So just a quick list there, kind of give an initial idea of what we're going to have to build out to make this work, and that's at a minimum, right? So we want to be able to go in, add customers, view those customers, view their attributes, view the customers, view the contacts in those customers. Okay, So we need to create some workflows and stuff for that. I like to start by creating a reusable object just to help me navigate. So this will be the navigation bar. Create. I'm going to make this actually a longer one. I'm just going to put this on the side of every page I work on. And I'm going to make my buttons first, just because I like to start visualizing my process here for what I'm going to do. Let's try that over. There we go. I actually like this size quite a bit. Just copy paste a few down there. Settings. Dashboard. I don't need that one yet. So start with these three. Move down to the middle here. Let's name this accounts. There we go. So dashboard will take us to a dashboard that shows us current sales attributed to accounts. Accounts will take us to a listing of accounts. And settings will take us to settings where we can change things. So the first thing we are going to want to do, I think, is let's make the page for dashboard, and let's just throw this tool, this sidebar on it, and we'll just start using that as kind of our redirect place where we're going to send everybody back to after we're done with certain things. So like if you go into settings, you go out of settings, you'd want to go back to dashboard, or you complete sales, you might want to go back to dashboard. Depending on the functions, we'll have it. Well, after you complete a sale, we'll just go back to the customer page. Okay, great. We'll start building. So let's create a blank dashboards page. I just want to have this right now for when I use it. We're going to actually build dashboards here towards the end. Navigation bar. There we go, navigation bar. So this is how every page is going to start looking. We could even color this too if we wanted to. We could change the element, make the background color different. I like to just have them float in there consistently. New page, let's build accounts. And now we can clone from dashboards. So now I have that blank page I'm just going to clone from, but it all serves a purpose. So now I have accounts. And then I'm going to make settings. I'm also going to clone from dashboards. Great. So I've got where these buttons go. So now I'm going to go in and dictate what these buttons do. So if you click on this, start and edit workflow, we're going to have it navigate to dashboards. Great. To design, start that workflow. If we click on accounts, we're going to navigate to accounts. We'll do the same thing for settings. So if we click on settings, we'll navigate to settings. Perfect. And now let's go to accounts. Great. So on this account page, what we're going to want to do is I want to make it so when you go to this accounts page, you have a list of accounts. And we can have that filtered by either prospects or customers or non-ICP if we wanted to. But just basically, I want to be able to see accounts. So I need to be able to add accounts. So let's make a button that would be on this page, which would be add accounts. Add new account. So, and then I need to make a new page for that because that button's going to send us there. We'll just copy dashboards. Great. Now we're ready to go. So we're going to add a new account. Put this up here. add new account. What fields do we want to have our account? So think about companies that you work with, companies that you're going to want to have info on, right? So I'll just make this box here. So we want the company name. Oop, silly me. Copy, paste. Company name. We're going to want their address, state. We want their zip code as a separate one. We want phone number. We might want to even track industry at some point. We could put in like a list of industries or something if we wanted to. But basically any attributes we want to do. So I'm going to keep it simple here, but you can always add a whole lot more. There. And then we need a button. Buttons make things happen. So button. Add company. Great. So what do we want this to do, right? There's add new account. We're gonna, there we go. Add this company. These are all the lines we have. Let's go here. Start our workflow. Count. Data and things. Create new thing. So we're going to create our first thing, which will be account. And this account is going to have fields. So address line 1. I'm just going to use text for all of these. I forgot the city field. There we go. And then in the design, I forgot to add a spot for the city. So let's add one of those. Grab all these, slide them down real quick. Copy paste real quick. Simple enough. City. Great. Back into here. Address line 1. Input address line 1's value. We'll just do that all the way down this. We want this for a variety of reasons. I'm entering state is just a field like this. You could enter in as a drop-down. A drop-down makes it easier in reporting because then you have everything uniform. But you can run state, and then you could even filter report later based on states. So depending on the kind of reporting you want to build out dictates how you want to do all these fields. Basically, every field you end up putting in on anything, you could run a report to count how many of them are and then use time frames for intervals. So I could say how many in what zip code, how many sales do we have in each zip code, and run a report based on zip codes that would show me. So really, we're going to get out of it what we build into it. So, excuse me. We also want to think about different amounts of data we're putting in, and we want to make sure this is still user-friendly, right? So we don't want to track so much data that people don't want to use it, because people will stop using it. So So now that we have this set up, we have accounts that are being made. So we can do a couple different things here. One would be resetting the input so you can just keep entering in new accounts quickly. I am going to set it to navigate back to the account page. And we need to make it do something on the account page, right? Otherwise there's nothing there. So what I want to do is create a repeating group. So we're going to drop this repeating group here. Right now we're just going to have this repeating group go ahead and just have accounts. We have all of the accounts, so we'll do a search for accounts. I don't have any restrictions, we just want all of them. Great. So only just info that can be displayed in here is an account, well, simply. So we are eventually going to want these to be links. So that's what I'm going to start them as. So ideally these will be links so that we can click on them. It'll open that account page for that specific account. So we'll do dynamic data because we're not going to type anything here. Like we could type account, but it won't do anything. It doesn't help us to have an account and then be a link to something. So we're going to do dynamic data, current sales account. We can grab any of the data that we had that we'd enter. What we want to do is we want to enter the, where did the company go? And now we just found out that we made a mistake on the last page. So let's go back here to add new account. We have the company name there. When we go in here and we create it, we don't have a company name. That is a problem. Company name. Input company names value. Perfect. Now we have it. So let's go back to the accounts page. There we go. Current sales account, company name. There we go. And now it'll display that. You might even want to display like a phone number, or you could display their address, or you could display their state. A lot of companies like to do stuff like that. Like we'll display the state right here. So this is accounts, state. That way when somebody opens this, they can go ahead and take a look and scroll down and say, okay, I'm looking for people in Texas. Let's organize, maybe you organize this by state. So people that call Texas see Texas, or you create a way to filter it, which we can look at later. But that doesn't have to be a link. That can just be text because we don't need to click on that. We just need one thing to click on. Perfect. So let's preview this and see what we have. All right, there's no account data, obviously. We didn't make this button do anything. So now we have to go back and add the add new account button. So that's why I test often. I click that preview button about every time I do anything major. So I did go to page and it will be add new account. Perfect. So now I'm on the account page. If I click add new account, it should do something. Add new account. There we go. Random data. Great. Perfect. So what I did there was I created a new account and then it took me back to the accounts page. And as you can see, it misspelled my test because I misspelled it when I entered it, but misspelled test 1 and then Texas. I can add a series of more accounts too if I like. I'll add one more real quick just to redisplay what's happening here. So I am creating this. And that data is moving here. So I have test 1 spelled correctly, test 1 spelled incorrectly. But you'll see I'm going to click on this button that's a link. I don't have it, I haven't programmed it to go anywhere yet. So click on it. It is taking me to just the main page that Bubble automatically generates, which we don't want. We want this to take us to an account page that we are going to build next.